was some companies that was charging 9%. Like it was a company called Legg Mason. If you guys are older, you may have heard of Legg Mason. They was charging 9%. But from a regulation standpoint, it was good because like the most you can charge was 12%. Think about paying a 12% commission on something. That's crazy. But back then, because of regulations back then, you could. So then kind of over time, that changed where you can only charge 2% to do a mutual fund, and you can only charge 1%. And then you had things called ETFs that came out. It's exchange traded fund. I spelled ETF. An exchange traded fund where you could buy a mutual fund on the stock market. When that happened, mutual funds are a thing of the past. Like most people on this call, even in your 401k, you probably have more ETFs than mutual funds. If you're my clients, you don't have any mutual funds because they're just highway robbery how they charge you because of the fees. Well, when you bought and sold at first a ETF, it was either a $4 commission or a 0.1% charge. But then kind of over time, as more products hit the market, now ETFs went to commission free. So now you can buy a ETF and never pay a commission. If anybody's paying a commission on the ETF, they're being robbed right now because now it's commission free. So I say that to say, over time, as more people enter the industry, as more banks accept cryptocurrency, as more banks allow you to hold your Bitcoin at their bank, the fees that are being charged are going down. So 2 years from now, probably a year from now, PayPal ain't going to charge no 15% for you to receive payment in your e-commerce store. It's going to go down. And probably 3-4 years from now, it's going to be no cost at all because the market's going to dictate people bringing their prices down. And that's another reason why I say we are so early when it comes to cryptocurrency, because the more financial institutions who run the world take payment and not charge for it, the more people are going to accept it. And also political and economic uncertainty, as I talk about, we passed 3 bills basically saying that crypto is a currency and is regulated like gold and silver and dollars. Crypto ain't going nowhere, long story short. All right, cool. Last thing, we had 3 acts like I talked about. Tax reporting, the answer to the question before, you got to pay taxes. When you buy and sell Bitcoin, you get a 1099, just like you get a 1099 if you buy and sell stocks. Same thing. Regulation is big, and now it's regulated. SEC, and then and Commodities Funds Trade Commission oversights. So again, the SEC, make sure it's with a broker's firm, is regulated. If it's by itself, you have it as Commodity Funds Trade Commission. Again, it's like a commodity. It's regulated, which is most important. And the recognition of Bitcoin spot ETFs, like I talked about, where you can buy Bitcoin through an ETF on the stock market and not worried about it being stolen. And when that happened last year, the floodgates opened with Bitcoin, and we're just starting with all the growth it's going to have. Why is regulation important? So definitely investment-wise, we love regulations because it keeps bad actors. A lot of bad actors that, yo, you're going to make all the money in the world. So I like Instagram, but I hate Instagram because you got people that are not licensed like me, not fiduciary, not have something to lose by giving wrong information or lying to people, but they can talk about all this stuff on Instagram and nothing happens to them. I like Instagram, but I hate it because you got all the bad actors. But with regulation, those bad actors will go away, or eventually they're going to be fined and maybe even prosecuted if they're running scams, right? Because regulation protects investors, so regulation is good. It opens doors for retirement accounts and funds, which I did not talk about. I'm going to talk about that now. Vanguard is the largest 401k holder in the U.S., and Fidelity is the largest 401k holder in the world because Fidelity has international clients, Vanguard does not. As I said earlier, Fidelity has its own Bitcoin ETF. Fidelity made the announcement earlier this year that fourth quarter of this year, they're going to allow people who have a Fidelity 401k buy that Bitcoin ETF in their 401k. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's going to raise the price of Bitcoin. If you think by Fidelity allowing people in their 401k to buy Bitcoin inside their 401k, is that going to raise the value of Bitcoin? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that. It will. It will, to the point that some economists think that Bitcoin, by that alone, Fidelity and Vanguard allowing you to buy Bitcoin in a 401k, that is going to increase the value of Bitcoin by 30%. That alone. So what's going to happen? If Mass Mutual or Great American or Valak or any other 401k company is seeing everybody else 401k growing, and companies saying, hey, I'm leaving you, Mass Mutual, because my participants want Bitcoin, you don't offer it, what are they going to do? They're going to adopt Bitcoin. Well, not most, 64%. So not most, but 64% of Americans' wealth are in their 401k. More wealth is in your 401k and your IRA than your house, because your house, we know we have mortgages, right? So our house might be worth money. Our house might be worth $300,000, but we got a $200,000 mortgage, so it's only $100,000. In our 401k, that's all our money. So most people's wealth is actually in their 401k, not their house, because we have loans against our house. And then we refinance. No problem with that. It's a tax write-off if you do it right. Get with us, it's definitely a tax write-off, right? But yeah. So I say that to say, if most people's wealth is in their retirement account, and now for people who's retired, it's in an IRA, they can do it now. But if I have a 401k and I can't do it, now I can, and I see everybody else make this money, I'm going to buy Bitcoin. So when that happens, fourth quarter this year, again, not a recommendation, but I personally think Bitcoin is going to be over 200,000 a coin by the end of the year. Right now it's at 113,000. So that is basically 80% gain. Again, I might be wrong. Won't be the first time, won't be the last time. But just that alone, you're going to have so many people buying Bitcoin in their 401k, and you're going to have so many other 401k providers that's going to lose business because they don't offer Bitcoin in their 401k. They're going to have to do it. So when that happens, you're going to see this huge increase, which is great for everybody. That means all of our retirement money is going to go up, and people who have Bitcoin already, it's going to go up. So watch this. I think it starts December 1st with Fidelity. So Vanguard will probably do it a few days after. Watch the space in 401ks and watch commercials, right? And I want you guys to text me or email me later this year when you start seeing commercials. Do Bitcoin in your 401k, a safe way to invest, an alternative way to invest your money in Bitcoin in your 401k. You're going to start seeing commercials because the media, they manipulate, right? They drive decisions. That's what media is, right? Media manipulates and drives decisions. So now banks, 401ks, Fidelity, they're going to have that green line, and that green line is going to be a Bitcoin on that line already. Okay, I could buy Bitcoin, right? Right, Vanguard with their ship, and that ship has Bitcoin on it, right? You're going to see all the memes, all the social media posts. It's going to be announcements. I'm pretty sure the CEO of Fidelity is going to be on CNBC. Major announcement, starting today, you can buy Bitcoin in the 401k. They said it could never be done. It's done now. It's going to be so much hype. It's just going to push up Bitcoin dramatically. And also it creates mainstream credibility. So yeah, okay, cool, awesome. All right, we're at 1 o'clock. I'm going to go over types of crypto real quick, but just in general before I go there, before we close. Any questions so far about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency? I'm going to talk about for about 10 minutes, the 5 types, and then I'll get everybody's here for today. But any other questions about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency? No? Okay. So also an analogy that I heard was the adoption of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin was pretty cool. It's like the seatbelt. So I can't take credit for that because I heard this on a podcast 2 weeks ago. So I can't take credit. But the person was saying, in the early 1900s, like seatbelts were out, but like companies really didn't find a way to really master how to make a seatbelt. So like they didn't push the seatbelt, which means a lot of people didn't drive, or people didn't drive as fast as they could have because, without a seatbelt, you get into an accident, you're done, right? So when Volvo came out with the seatbelt in 1959, it became mass adoption. And what you saw was that a lot more people drove faster. And like the effect of that was like counties, like we're in Florida, we have a lot of those speed traps, right? A lot of counties start making so much more money because they was charging people and writing speeding tickets. So a lot of small counties was able to hire more people, make money, and just bring in revenue because of speeding tickets. Well, those speeding tickets wouldn't have existed without the seatbelt. So if you kind of compare that to Bitcoin, it's a lot of people that today are just kind of getting by and really can't invest like they want to, or their portfolio is not growing like they want to because they're not putting enough money in. But Bitcoin is going to be like that small town where they're going to be able to buy it, hold it, and because of the accelerated growth of Bitcoin, they're going to be able to really be financially stable. And that's not going to happen because of not having Bitcoin. It's going to happen since they have Bitcoin. Just like the small towns, once the seatbelt was put into place and people felt comfortable about driving, they get an accident, they ain't gonna die, they were speeding, and now those small towns made money. Boy, yeah, those small towns. I got a ticket in Lawton. If you guys from Florida, you guys know about Lawton County. I got 2 speeding tickets over the years in Lawton County because they change. They go from 55 miles an hour to like 45 miles an hour to 35 miles an hour. And like, it's like 3 blocks. Like you drive 1 block is 55. You drive another block is 45. You drive another block is 35 miles an hour. It's just like, what are we doing here? Like, what are you doing, y'all? But then both times I was like, well, like maybe like 60, but 60 and 35 is kind of fast. But it was just 55 2 blocks ago.